It's Tuesday the 3rd of December in the Vendée Globe, and the low pressure system, which we've been talking about for a number of days, is nearly upon the fleet. The light winds have been the factor for the last 24 hours at least, and how the sailors have managed to navigate their way through that has determined as to what position they are in as the low approaches. The leading pair managed to stay a little bit further south, which worked out very well for them, and now are heading up north to try and get into that pressure system. They are going to be riding the eastern side of this low pressure system. It is the boats behind which will be getting more of the western side of the low pressure system, and that could have the strongest winds, 40, 45, maybe even 50 knots with some huge seas. So we're going to have to really watch out for that and see how far north they can get to avoid it. The path of the low pressure system has been changing over the forecast for the last few days, and it looks like they'll only be riding it for a couple of days before it then ducks south and goes beyond the ice boundary, so they won't be able to use those strong winds anymore. And so we take a look at the tracking, PredictWind, and just see where things are going to pan out over the next few days. We've also got an update from Sam Goodchild, who is fascinated by the wildlife that he can see out in the Indian Ocean as they approach the Kerguelen Islands. Looking at the tracker on the Initiatives Kerr website of Sam Davies, we can see how this front pair of Charlie Dalin and Sébastien have managed to use what wind there is to work their way further to the east and gain a little bit of a lead. Whereas if you just look a little bit further behind, Yoann Richomme is actually stuck in a light patch there, making only 3.8 knots or 0.2 knots VMC, that velocity made good on course, so towards the next waypoint. Looking a little bit to the west, we can see that developing low pressure system. That is deepening, so the winds are going to get stronger, but only the front 9 are going to be able to use that. And some are positioning themselves already to the north so that they can get that wind. The leaders can take it a little bit later because it will take time for that to work from west to east. If we look at the chasing pack, who are yet to go round the Cape of Good Hope, we can see they're on the next low pressure system. In the deep south here, there are just low pressure systems working from west to east around the Antarctic. So this is how things continually work here, and they will use that wind. No change on the ranking, but we will see the distances in the top 9 close up a little bit as the boats behind get that breeze first, the top 9, and then it will open up again, I feel, as Charlie Dalin and Sébastien at the front ride those winds on the eastern side of that low pressure system. The latest routing for Charlie Dalin by Richard Gladwell, Sailworld's New Zealand editor, together with PredictWind, shows how the low pressure system comes in from the west and he rides that front edge of it, and it looks like the strongest winds will be on the western side of that low pressure. And then he takes that towards the ice gate, a couple of different options there, and the low pressure system then heads off further south that they won't be able to use as it'll be the wrong side of that ice boundary. And there you can see again all of the routing options come in towards the ice boundary as they come towards our point just off Cape Lewin on the southwest tip of Australia.
I'm just watching the albatrosses. There's this one just here. It must be at least 1.5 meters wide, wingspan, and it's just going round and round and round the boat. It's amazing. He hasn't flapped once. Incredible animals.
Thank you very much for watching today. It's really appreciated, all of the comments and feedback that we're getting on this YouTube channel. So keep your questions coming. We'll try and answer as many as we possibly can of those. Do subscribe to our channel using the button down here, and also please do take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com, where we bring you all of the latest Vendée Globe news as well as so many other sailing events around the world.